moving on. Our main story tonight concerns walls. The envy of all employees who work in open-plan offices. I would take a fucking beaded curtain just so I don't have to directly observe Carol clip her nails. Do it at home, Carol! This year, one particular wall has gotten a lot of our attention.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border.
That's a Trump wall, beautiful wall.
I will build the greatest wall that you've ever seen. If they ever put my name on, I want a gorgeous wall. You know? The Trump wall, oh, will that be a beautiful wall?
Yes, Donald Trump wants to build a wall on the US-Mexican border, and based on his tone, he also wants to fuck that wall. The wall is such a fixture of his speeches and so popular among his supporters. One man even wore a spandex wall costume at one of his rallies, and, I mean, that's kind of incredible. The only group of people more excited about barriers are high school health teachers. Oh, that's right, cool guys and cool gals. When you're horny, there is nothing better than a good dental dam. It feels exactly the same. It doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. The border wall is one of the few policy proposals Trump has talked about in detail. So instead of mocking or dismissing it out of hand, tonight, let's take a serious proposal by a serious presidential candidate seriously. And first, let's put aside the potential racism and xenophobia involved here. We can come back to that later. And instead, let's focus on the practicality of whether and how it can actually be done. And let's start with the cost. When Trump first started talking about this, he said it would cost a lot, but not a lot.
Let's say the wall costs $4 billion. You know, they say $10 billion. That means $4 billion, if you know what you're doing.
Okay, so he's saying he could build a wall at 40% of what it would cost others, which I would say is an insane magic trick if I thought his tiny fingers could wrap all the way around a magic wand. So, actual photo. Actual photo. But since then, his estimate has grown.
The wall is going to cost $6 or $7 billion.
The wall's probably $8 billion. A wall gets built, it's going to cost $10 billion to build the wall. Okay, it's a lot of money. It's a wall.
The wall's going to cost $10 billion. Maybe 12, depending.
Okay, so we've gone from $4 to $12 billion. Donald Trump's margin of error is the entire GDP of Moldova. But still, fair enough. We're now at $12 billion. But to truly know the real cost, we're going to need to know what the wall is going to be made from. Now, if only Donald Trump could explain that to me like I'm a child.
So, you're going to build the wall? What's it going to be made out of?
Oh. Hey, that's a good question. Lift him up here. Bring him up here.
What are the walls going to be made out of?
I'll tell you what it's going to be made of. It's going to be made of hardened concrete, and it's going to be made out of rebar and steel.
Okay. First, Trump is holding that child less like a human being and more like a cat he just gave a bath to. But second, to be fair, rebar and steel. Okay, that is a clear answer. I appreciate that. Now, the amount we would need would depend on the height of the wall. Unfortunately, Trump has been unclear on that, suggesting numbers ranging from 35 to 90 feet. So let's work with his lowest estimate, a 35-foot tall wall, which Trump has said we would need around 1,000 miles of. Now, according to one estimator and construction economist, that would cost $10 billion for the concrete panels and $5 to $6 billion for steel columns, including labor. Plus, another $1 billion for concrete footing for the columns and a concrete foundation. So that's at least $16 billion. We're already $4 billion over his largest budget, and we've only just gotten started here, because those materials are heavy, and you're going to have to transport them into many areas that are currently inaccessible to construction vehicles. So that same expert estimates another $2 billion to build roads so that 20-ton trucks can deliver those materials. And that's not even getting into another 30% or so for engineering, design, and management. So now we're up to around $25 billion, anywhere from 2 to 6 times Trump's estimates. But wait, because we're still not done. All of that is just building the wall. The Congressional Budget Office estimated for a similar project that wall maintenance costs would exceed the initial construction costs within 7 years. So it's a big, dumb thing that only gets more expensive over time. It's like getting a pet walrus. You think it's stupid now. Wait until you learn what a bucket of sea cucumbers costs. You've not prepared for that.